Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts and welcome. Thank you guys for joining me today. So what we're going to make is our fun quilted journal covers. I mean, these turn out so cool. Let's see. What is the front? That's the front. There's the front. So that's the front of it. And then there's the back of this one. So these are really fun to make. I asked you guys in my community tabs if you'd be interested in to see how I make these, and thank you guys for commenting. That really helps me out and lets me know what you guys would be interested in. So there's the cover of that one and the back of it. So these turn out really fun. And then here's this one. We got some beads on the end of it. More fun little beads. So that's the front of that with the cute little birds and then all the words, and I just love this fabric. And then there's the back of it. And I will make sure to put the links down below. These are all going to be in my Etsy shop, so you guys can come purchase one if you want, and or just come favor my shop. That really does help me out a lot if you come favor it and just click the, hit the heart button. That gets my, shop out there further for others to see. But these are all just one of a kinds that I'm making just out of some fabric I have. And you guys can definitely use scrap fabric, any kind of fabric that you have laying around. And let's get to it, and we'll start with the measurements. I have my journal size that I want to do, so you could do any size journal cover you want. What I use is the standard composition books is what I'm using to make the size for my quilted journal cover here. So what I have is my measuring tape, and you're just going to want to measure around of how big it is. So this one's 15. Okay. So 15 around and 9 3/4 up and down. Okay. So tall. So what you're going to want to do is when it's 15 around, you're going to want to add an inch. And when it's 10 3 or 9 3/4, you're going to add an inch. So you're going to add an inch overall all the way around for the seam allowance and everything. So let's see here. Okay. So that's for the backing. So this is our stuff that we have here, and I'll show you everything. So what we have is our backing piece, which is going to be like the inside part. I'll show you. So it's going to be like this part. How this is the white part. That's what this is going to be. Okay. So this is going to be measured 16 by 10 3/4. Okay. So it's just going to be an inch bigger than our journal all the way around. So you can go like this. So there we go. You can see how we got our allowance all the way around. So that is going to make it so you just have extra wiggle room. Okay. So just add an inch to everything. All right. So we got that one. And now with the batting, I like to do the batting about 1.5 inches to 2 inches bigger, because when we do sew on it, when we start sewing down on it and stuff, it starts shrinking up a little as you're adding the stitches and stuff like that. So I just like to do like 1.5 inches to 2 inches around. So for me, this will be 17 by 11 3/4. Okay. So 17 wide, 11 3/4 tall. Okay. So just do this one. Do your batting 2 inches overall. Okay. So there's that. Now, these are our inside flaps, which holds the inside of the journal right here. Okay. So our flaps will measure 7. I like to do them 7 inches wide, and then however tall your journal is going to be. So the 10 3/4. So we're going to go with the 1 inch overall tall. Okay. Because remember, my journal is 9 3/4 tall. Okay, so we're going to add an inch to that. So we're going to do 10 3/4, just so it matches up with our backing here. So you just make them both the same height, like that. Okay, then they're the same height. And then 7 inches wide, and you need 2 of them, because for each side, and then what we'll do is we'll fold them in half like that when we do the sewing, okay? So those are the measurements of what you will need, and I will meet you guys over at the sewing machine. Okay, so what I'm starting off with here is, I got my batting, and I'm gonna fold it in half like this just to look, to see, because this is how your journal will be. And this is gonna be the front cover, okay? So that's how it's gonna fold up. So what I wanna do is take I have a 4 by 4 inch square is what it is. But you can use whatever size you want. So I'm just starting off with a square, just kind of seeing where I want it, like that. And then I'm gonna open this back up, okay? So we're gonna open it up like that, line it up how we want it. Okay, and what I have over here, these are really fun, just fun little fabrics. So I got pears, I got some blue pears. Okay, so that's what we're using today. Under the apple tree, I think that's so fun. Okay, so I have those pears. So just whatever fabric you have that you want to use. So I got that. Got some green. I got a little mixture of pears and apples. Some cherries, some strawberries. Like that. And then some more cherries. And then, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is just scrap, and you can use scrap pieces. I mean, you can use anything that you have. So what I'm going to do is just have this like that. I want to cut this to size. So I'm going to line it up. I'm just going to go like this. I'm doing good to good, good fabric to good fabric, like that. Okay. I'll line it up. And then I just want to do a strip. Okay. So we're just going to take this one, go good to good. Just make sure you have it the right way that you want it. Like that. And I'm just going to start sewing with a straight stitch. So every time that we're good to good like this, we're going to sew with a straight stitch and then flip. So this is the stitch and flip method that we're going to use. Okay?
So just go ahead and do your straight stitch, then flip it over and do a decorative stitch down the middle. And I'm just trying out different decorative stitches just to try different things out on my machine. And what I forgot to do at the very beginning is on the 4 by 4 inch square, I forgot to do decorative stitches down the middle, but you could do that at any time. Just make sure you do it if you want to do that and get it all decorative stitches on it before you sew the backing or anything on. And I just continue just doing that and going all the way around and doing straight stitch and flipping them.
I wanted to show you guys this real quick so you could see that as I was going along this way, these are a little bit longer, which is fine. You're just going to want to make sure when you line up this piece of fabric that I'm going to flip this way, because you're going to want to go all the way across here. I want to go down and make sure I line up with the lowest point, which is this one. So you're just going to want to go like this. and just make sure you're lining up this edge at the lowest point here. And then go all the way down like that. And then just do a straight stitch and do a flip.
I accidentally added the strawberry fabric upside down, so I have to stitch rip it all out. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I just go ahead and just lay it back down and stitch it back on. So I am just cutting roughly about 2-inch wide strips and sewing them across the back of the journal.
Okay, so I went ahead and cut it to the size of the backing, and now I got my ribbon where I want it, so I just went ahead and lined it up where I want it, laid it across like that. Okay, and we got our pockets, so I'm just going to take them and fold them in half and put the raw edge out. So we got the raw edge like that. We're going to put it out like that. Okay. So line that up. So if you want your ribbon perfectly lined in the middle, just make sure to measure it and you can line it all up. Okay, so I'm just taking that, folding it in half. And putting the raw edges out. Okay, and I'm going to go to my sewing machine and do a back stitch, straight stitch all the way down, and a back stitch. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, just straight down. So you can go ahead and clip it if you want. That, just to clip it all into place. You can go all the way around with it if you want to, just to clip it securely, and I'll be back. So I went ahead and sewed down the flaps, just like that. Okay, and what I want to do now is take our backing. Okay, and this is going to be the part that doesn't show back behind once your journal's inside. I just like to match mine, but you can do whatever in the back because your journal will go on top of it, so it'll hide that part. Okay, so what I'm doing is doing the good print to the good print. Okay, they all should be the same size now. Just like that. And I like to take my clips down here at the bottom, and you can clip all the way around, however you want to do it, but I want to go ahead and put a clip here, and a clip about here, so I can have about a 3 to 4 inch opening that we don't sew on, so we can flip it. So you're going to want to start here, do a back stitch, and do a straight stitch all the way around, and then another back stitch right here, and then I'll come back and show you what to do. So we went ahead and I sewed all the way around and left an opening at the bottom here. And now let's just go ahead and cut the edges a little bit just to reduce the bulk when we flip it. Just make sure do not cut into the thread. Just do just a little trim here. Okay. And if you want, before you flip it, you can cut off some of this loose threads and stuff. If you have like a thinner material that it's going to show through. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't really worry about it. But if you want, this would be the time to go ahead and trim anything that you do not want poking through or peeking through if you have thinner backing fabric. So there we go. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and grab it and flip it. I like to get it all the way through, and then you can shake it. I'm trying to pop some out. And then I got a chopstick. Something where it's not super pointy at the end because you don't want to pop through your stitches. And you're going to want to take your pockets and flip them on the inside. So before you get your corners all perfect, just flip them on the inside, see, and you can see I have it all matching like that. But choose whichever fabric works for you and however you guys want to combo it. And I mean, this is even a fun scrap project too, that you can use the scraps on the you know, on the front part when you're sewing down on the batting and stuff. It's a great project for scraps. Okay, I also wanted to talk to you guys real quick about the front here. Okay, so what I did here on the front is kind of a log cabin theme, that, you know, like a layout. So you could see that I did it here and then went like that and then like that, and I didn't do the other side, so I just went ahead and did a strip down that side. So there's just so many different ways you can do it. But I do have a tutorial to show you guys. It's a slow stitching tutorial on log cabin, on how I do a log cabin. So I'll put that on the end screen. You guys can come check it out. It's a more detailed video. So it's the same concept. Okay. So there we go. I think this is kind of cool. So I'm just popping in the corners just how I want them, because now's your chance. Okay. And if you want to do a ribbon closure, it's, you know, optional, of course. So now what we're going to do is you can take your iron and let me go ahead and plug it in and heat it up real quick. All right, so I got my iron heating up, and I wanted to show you guys that you can see here that it's not perfectly straight. So that's why these are great to do scraps and stuff like that. But if you want each one perfectly lined up and where it's not going to be wonky at the end or, you know, anything like that, just measure them out. You can measure out your strips and do it that way. But I just kind of, you saw me, I was just cutting them and eyeballing them, and so we got a little wonky on the end here, but I don't mind that. I think it kind of gives it character and, you know, one of a kind here. So this is definitely one of a kind for sure. Okay. So what I did is the part that we left open is I just kind of folded it over and then pulled a little with my fingers like that to pop it down. Okay. And then you just want to make sure you're lining up your edges how you want them. Like that. Okay, and then you just take your iron and just press it. And you can just give a quick press all the way around if you want to. Okay. And then I will take you guys over to the sewing machine and show you guys how I do a fun top stitch all the way around. So what I'm going to do is start at the opening here, and we're just going to do a straight stitch all the way around. So just make sure it's lined up how you want it. And I've been doing just a 1/4 inch seam allowance around all of it. And as we go around, we're going to want to make sure our ribbon is not in the way, so we want it out of the way. Just make sure, pull it out as you go around so you don't sew it like all the way across or something. So I can't tell if that's better lighting or worse. I had my track lighting down like that, but it was making like a weird shadow. So let's see, maybe if I point like that. Okay. And I moved my mat that was underneath, and what it was, I wanted to tell you guys real quick, is my mat, this mat I had underneath, is from Walmart, and it is a dish drying mat. So you put it under your dishes and stuff like that, but I use it for ironing on, and it works great. So there's a little tip and trick. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our beads. I'll show you how to do some beads. I just have some big wooden beads here and a skewer. So I'm just going to fold the end. I like to tie off the end of ribbons or something like that for the fact that they do fray. So if you put a bead on the end of it, I think it looks really nice. Let's see here. Okay, so I just do about 2 to 3 inches just so I can tie it, and then get it as close to the end as I can, like that. And then just pop my bead like that. And if you're not sure if it's going to stay or not, but you could do a little Fabrifix glue or some kind of glue or something if you want to. Any kind of Fabri-Tac or something like that will work. So I'm just taking it and popping it through like that, tying it, just a loose knot at the bottom so it holds the bead, and there we go. So I think this turned out really fun. I went ahead and did the straight stitch just all the way around it. I think that gives it a really neat look to it. Okay. And we got our journal inside. Oh, I have my journal upside down. Well, that's okay. You guys got the gist. So you just tuck it in to the little flaps here and tuck in the other side. I had some stuff I journaled, so I went ahead and tucked it in with the paper. Just go like that. Yeah, you can even mark your place like that and tuck your paper in, and have your next part that you want to write, and then take your next paper and tuck it in. And I mean, these are really fun. I love making them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's the way it's supposed to go, but I had it all upside down. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. Oh, I'll stick that back on in a minute. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.